Mrs. Ether. I want to be sure for its minimum height length, not the minimum corridor length. Minimum height length, it could be present for same meaning of minimum corridor length, but the height of the customer, we cannot give minimum or maximum, because the height, it will be like standard, or the height of the frame with the eye of the customer. This you cannot change. If the customer select this frame and he put in his face, you will have only one height for him. You cannot change the height of the customer. But what you can change, what you can select, it's the corridor length. How you will select the corridor length? It's by know the minimum corridor length. So there is difference. The height, it's one value, one distance. You cannot play with this value because it's a fitting value of the customer face. But minimum corridor length, it's a variable value. You can change the corridor length. So you can have different minimum corridor lengths up to the height of the customer needs, because the frame long or length of the frame will play role to select the corridor length. Also, the customer need, if he need indoor or outdoor activity, which one is most important for him, this one will play also role to select the corridor type. Also, if the customer switching from bifocal or switching from single vision or switching from progressive, which corridor was using before, it's a regular corridor or short corridor. So these three factors will affect your selection for the corridor. So the height, it's a fixed value. The corridor length, it's a variable value you can select up to the customer's need. As we said, three factors. Anoop Gill, I'm sorry if I announced the names not correct, but thank you very much for you. Mr. Walid Hassan, thank you. You are always welcome. Evelyn Parma, thank you, sir. You're always welcome. Rami Shahrawi, thank you, Dr. Muhammad. How to avoid complaints from customer before I make progressive plans? The question, very nice question. He said, how to avoid complaints from customer before I make progressive lens. First at all, to avoid any complaints, you should be 100% or 90 or 80% as a minimum. The customer understood how he can use the progressive lens. How he can use progressive lens. You should demonstrate for the customer how to use progressive lens and what habit he need to adapt with the progressive lens, like this, like moving eyes or moving head for far and near, like rotate their head from right to left. If the customer understood this, the using or how to use the progressive lens, after this one, you do a correct fitting BD, you select correct design, what customer needs in his lifestyle, I'm sure the complaints will be reduced at least for 10% or 5% only from total sales of progressive lenses. So you need to be sure the customer, he understood how to use it. You need to be sure you make a correct choice, select for progressive type, progressive corridor, and also you have a correct fitting progressive. Still, I have some questions here. Mr. Tuhib, you are always welcome. You have a nice day. Mr. Muzammil, the level of the sides and their effect, please. All this depend on two things, on the fitting height and on the corridor length. If you have short corridor length and you make fitting height up, of course, the customer, he will see the distortion too much. If you have a regular soft design and you make correct height, the customer will not affect too much by the distortion on the side. Amabel, thank you. Nice topic. Thank you very much for you. Thank you, Doctor from Rami. You are always welcome. Thank you very much for all of you attending today, and I wish you have a good day and have a good weekend.